So there's obviously good endings where mum and baby go off together, or dad and baby, and that's great for everyone. We usually have a family meal, a get-together, a celebration really of the time they've been with us. We might just simply go and say, you choose a restaurant, let's go to certain places, and they come with us. I try and get all the children from the house, because it's not just me that's been part of it, it's a whole family. The time they've been with us is the whole family is there fostering with us alongside. So we try and make it as a joyous occasion, especially if they've had a positive ending. But obviously there are times where it's not so positive, and that can be really difficult for everyone. I've had one young woman who just left one day and left me with a baby and went off, and I didn't see her for a good 3-4 weeks. During that time, I carried on looking after baby, but I made sure I had texted her so she knew that she could always have that conversation with me, come back to me, that I had an open door policy. I told the social worker that if she wanted to talk to me and if she got in contact with her, then please to tell her to text me and feel comfortable, and we could have that conversation. I think shaming parents when it hasn't gone well is unhelpful. And I always want to keep that relationship. You never know, they might come back in 10 years' time with another baby, or the child might come back to you, in 20 years' time and have that discussion about their mum or dad. So I always try and keep it open. That particular young woman did come back to me. She actually came and saw her baby, and instead of going to a contact centre, I welcomed her back into our house, had a cup of tea, made her some lunch, and talked about what had happened for her in that situation. And 5 years on, she still texts me now, and I've seen her other children since then. So that's really good. I've had one young woman who went to the baby. She just decided that actually she couldn't do this, and she was really honest with me. So I worked with her on that. And said, okay, so if you feel you can't do this and you want a good life for your child, then how can we make this, helpful for the child in the future? So she helped me do some photos. So I did a copy of photos of their last day here. The day she told me 3 days before she left. So we had a little bit of time to gather some stuff that she had. So the baby stuff from the hospital, she said, I want the baby to have that. So we just put it all in a folder. I made a video of her, of their last day together. We went by the canal and we fed the ducks, that sort of thing. And I gave her a copy of that, and the baby took that on to adoption. And again, we had a meal and said goodbye and tried to make it as positive as we can. But also, if it's not positive, then just to keep that door open, that we can have that conversation in 6 months' time, in a year's time. And that, I think, is more helpful than just shutting the door and making it a negative. I think the impact, sometimes my older children have been quite devastated if the parents have failed on that placement, and not gone on to live with their children, because they felt that they know they love them, and they feel, as we do as carers, they are impacted because they feel upset and gutted that parent hasn't managed to, go on. Or sometimes they can feel quite angry with their social workers. My children can. So they think, oh, she's actually quite good, or she could do, or she needs another chance. And so I have to do some work with my own children on these are the reasons why, and also not to feel that if that parent has not left you with their child and the child's gone on to adoption or to a family member, that we haven't failed as a family. I think my children have sometimes felt a little bit like we failed. And I have to do quite a lot of work, and we haven't failed. And actually, they now can see, however many years we've been doing it now, is that they can see that actually some of those parents didn't take that one child on, but they have gone on to keep several other children. And I know that some of the stuff they learnt with us and some of the development they had here had an impact on maybe baby number 2, baby number 3. And I think my children now get that, but in the beginning, I think they really took it to heart. So it does impact the whole family, definitely.